Good morning and hello, everyone. This is Victoria.
And Mary.
And we're both traditional naturopaths, and we're here to educate others, such as yourself, so that you are informed in order to make educated decisions based upon facts, as well as some personal experiences. And as always, we have our disclaimer, the are cold on steroids, and people are getting kind of excited about this. And I really believe, and this is my personal belief, and Mary, you can disagree with me, but I really think that this has been kind of blown out of perspective by our media. And so we're here to just kind of help you calm down and de-stress a little bit. We want to treat this virus like we treat every other respiratory illness. And at this time of year during cold and flu season, we are asked to take extra precautions. And you know, during this season, it kind of gets hyped up anyway, but this one seems to be just a little extra for some reason. So we're going to chat a little bit more on how to keep from getting the virus, as well as what to do. Now, I want to give you a little bit of data that I found from the CDC. I actually got on the CDC website. They update their information every day at noon. So the information that I'm giving you today is based on yesterday, the 18th information when they updated it. Now, this data includes both confirmed as well as presumed positive cases since January 21st. And the state and local public health departments are now testing and publicly reporting their cases. So what's happening here is there's some discrepancies between the CDC and the state cases, or the state reporting. So the CDC actually put out a disclaimer saying that, you know, go with your state statistics rather than ours to be more accurate. But as of yesterday, the total cases in the greater United States is 7,038, with a total deaths of 97. Now, let me just say this, that I have recently read that it's been said that over 60,000 people with the positive coronavirus have recovered so far. So that's actually promising. And I'm not saying that that's a lot out of 7,000, but what I'm saying is since that time, there are 60,000 people that have actually recovered very well from it. Now, this means when they're taking these statistics, they're actually taking them from the 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, to give you a perspective of what this is, the whole population of the United States is, what was that, Mary?
327 million.
Yeah, million people. We're talking 327 million people. So
can I say one thing? I
absolutely.
think the 60,000 people that recover from it is worldwide, not just United States.
Okay, that could be. The stuff that I read was on working with the United States, but that I could be wrong how I got that. So yes, thank you for that. So, but even at that, that's a pretty good percentage, I have to say. Out of all the people, 300 and some million people, that's a lot. Okay, so I want to talk to you. While I was on the CDC website, they actually had a timeline of the virus. And so according to the CDC, there were 2 cases confirmed on January 14th. And then again on the 29th, there were 3 cases confirmed. Well, then we jump a month later to February 29th, where there were 61 confirmed cases. Now, this is in the United States. I'm not talking about worldwide. This is the United States. But by March 9th, there were 135 cases. But the very next day, March 10th, there was a drastic drop, a decrease by 45 new cases. And then again, between March 15th and yesterday, there have been 0 cases. 0. So that's pretty intense for me. That's an amazing drop. Why? Because we're taking precautions. And Mary's going to go over the symptoms, and then we'll go into some other things.
Okay. My information came from the World Health Organization. They're supposed to be the go-to guys. But talk about symptoms. And I'm glad we're going over this because I have people call me up on the phone a lot saying, I have the diarrhea and I'm throwing up, and that's not the symptoms. As Victoria said in the beginning, this is basically a cold. And she's right, it is a cold on steroids. It's a stronger cold. But you know what? Last year was a strong cold as well. I had people say, oh man, it took me a lot longer to get over this cold than previous years. So the colds, the viruses are getting stronger and stronger, but it's still not scary like they're trying to make a sign. So if you feel tired, that's usually the first sign. Some people get a fever, a little bit of a dry cough in the beginning, runny nose, some aches and pains, sore throat. Once in a while, diarrhea. That's not the most typical thing that happens, but a little diarrhea can be involved. But all the other things like the throwing up or something like that, that's probably the flu that you have and not the coronavirus. All right. As I said, the viruses in general are getting stronger and stronger. And if there's ever a pandemic, if we do certain things, we can still live through it. You know, even, what was that? The Black Plague? Not everyone died. It didn't wipe out the whole world. There's some people that had it. So that I work on purpose to stay away from simple sugars. And milk products, milk, cheese, ice cream, and yogurt. Get plenty of rest. Relax. You know, whenever you're all worried about something, your immune system goes down in a lower gear. So I'll tell you what, Victoria and I were talking, and that governor from New York, he's coming on and telling us, you know, this is happening, and acting all excited about it. I just turn him off. If you can, get some exercise in because it helps the lymphatic system flow. And walk in the sun. Back in the old days when people had TB and stuff like that, they would put them out in the sun to get some vitamin D, natural vitamin D. I wouldn't like put your bikini on in the wintertime and go out and get tan. But if you walk and there's some sun showing on your face and on your hands, you know, that's going to help you as well. Eat a really good diet all the time. And these things, like I said, is all the time. A lot of raw vegetables, a lot of raw fruits. The enzymes as well as the vitamins and minerals in those are very beneficial. A few whole grains you need and some healthy proteins. You know, getting a hot dog or a hamburger from McDonald's is not a good protein. Stay hydrated. Inside, by drinking the water, you could add some warm elderberry tea with raw honey in the beginning, as long as you don't have an autoimmune disease or immune, you know, like you're on immune suppressant medication. Increase your vitamin C intake. Eat oranges. Squeeze fresh orange juice. If you get the orange juice that's in a bottle, you don't have as much vitamin C. Citrus of any kind, actually, you can use. Rosehip tea. And the coolest thing I learned last night, Victoria, will you talk about the boiled onions?
Well, boiled onions, and so they're those little green scallions. You take one bunch of the green onions, you put them in 8 ounces of, I use distilled water, put it in 8 ounces of distilled water, boil it until the little onion heads are clear, take those out, season it with your herbs, and then drink it down. It is a pure vitamin C. So it really gets in quick and fast into the digestive system.
See, I had no idea. I never heard of that before. That just blew me away. And besides vitamin C, it also has some sulfur in it. Mm-hmm. In the 1960s, they used to do sulfur drugs for infections. Mm-hmm. They took it off the market because sulfa can poison you, but sulfur from onions you don't have to worry about.
Well, I would Mary, also can I interject a minute since we're on onions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know, and this is something that I've heard you say over and over again with even respiratory, any kind of infection, throwing a piece of onion in your socks and sleeping with it will help as well. Yeah. Just to help pull the toxins. Now, let me just say this. I'm going to go one step further, and I know we're going to go on, but once you remove that onion, it's toxic. So put it in a baggie, tie it up, and take it out to your trash. Don't leave it permeating in your trash in the house because those toxins are in there and it gets back into the air.
Right. And then again, you also absorb the sulfa from the onions. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Okay, eating pumpkin seeds for zinc, because I wouldn't take a lot of zinc. It washes the copper out of your body. But if you eat a handful of pumpkin seeds once in a while, that's not going to be too much. Then onions and garlic in your food. You can fry it if you want to, or if you live alone or have someone who loves the smell of onions and garlic, you can eat them raw. Make sure there's moisture in your air. You know, a long time ago, my mom every winter would get coffee cans, and I'm not endorsing coffee because it's not good for you, but she'd get coffee cans and fill it up with water and put it on her radiators. For you city folks who don't know what radiators are, they're like these things that hold hot water to keep the house warm, and to keep the air moist. Because if you keep the air moist, you're less likely to get some of these things because the mucous membranes inside of your nose will be moist, and it can be like a barrier between you and a virus. Some people even take a little bit of coconut oil and paint the inside of their nose to keep it moist. Gargling with salt water, warm salt water can help because the coronavirus is very, very fragile when it comes to heat. That's why the body, first thing it does is it starts kicking up the fever to kill that virus. If you let the body do that, it is going to kill most of the virus before it can go crazy in your body. So I would not take like Tylenol or something like that to get rid of the fever. If the fever gets really, really bad, again, put the onions in the sock. My grandkids, none of them have ever had Tylenol or needed Tylenol because if they get a fever, we just do the onions and it takes it right down. Then wash your hands whenever you, like if you're going to go out in public and you come in, wash your hands. You don't have to wash your hands until they crack and bleed. You know, just if you do something different, that you're going to be exposed to something, wash your hands. And you can put some Silver Shield gel on. Silver Shield gel is reported to keep any kind of virus, bacteria, parasite, even MRSA from being absorbed by the body. It kills it. And you put it on every 4 hours, and that's better than any hand sanitizer they have. And then, of course, use common sense. Like, don't let people sneeze and cough in your face, and don't go licking, you know, the
door
handle of a, huh?
Door handle.
Yeah, don't go licking door handles.
One of the things that I do, Mary, is I put silver, the liquid Silver Shield in a small, like a little 4-ounce spray bottle, and I spray it on my hands and I spray it on my face and everything when I go into a public place.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm not organized enough and ambitious enough to do that. I just put Silver Shield on my hands, and then I kind of rub around my eyes, my mouth, pinch my nose so I get some of it up in my nose for the same reason.
Right. I do it because in my business, when people come in and out, and I have people in and out, I spray the room before, I spray it after. If they're on my bed, if I'm doing zoning or whatever, I spray my bed down too. So Silver Shield is a staple in my office.
Yeah, I love this stuff. I always have at least a bottle on hand at all times.
I actually put it in my cart every month, so I have an abundance of that anytime I need it. Plus, every couple months, I'll throw a tube of the Silver Shield gel into my monthly cart as well.
Yeah, good idea. Very good idea. Okay, so after you've done all that, and I think you should do that all the time. If there's a so-called pandemic, what it's called, pandemic?
Pandemic.
Yeah, I don't. Hug and kiss before they go to bed. And they weren't doing that. And I grabbed my one grandson when he was going by. I said, "Hey, you forget to hug your mama?" He says, "No, mama, but I go to school, and I don't want to give you the virus because you're old, and old people die first." I said, "That is really sweet. You touched my heart by saying that, but I'm not that old."
Right.
The people that are dying are people in their 80s in a nursing home. I'm not quite there yet. But that was sweet. So what I plan on doing is the same thing that I talked about here. The prevention, avoid the sugars and do all that stuff. If, however, me being so old, I do contract it and my body is getting overwhelmed. If my body's not getting overwhelmed, I want my body to go through it naturally. So I don't just automatically, oh, I got the coronavirus, I've been tested, so this is what I'm going to do. Because you want the body to go through it naturally, so you build an immunity. As these viruses get stronger, we want our immunity to get stronger. I never take anything for my colds. Sometimes they last a little longer than I want them to. They can be a real pain in the butt. But as long as they're not overwhelming me, I let my body go through that cleansing process and that immune stimulating process. But let's say I'm down and out and I feel like, this is starting to get a little bit too far gone, which, by the way, doesn't happen very often. Was it like 2 or 3% of the people actually need some kind of intervention? What I would do is get Silver Shield. Again, I would drink some by mouth, probably the first couple of days, 2 ounces, although I can't prescribe, of course. And then do it in a soft mist inhaler, like my friend Sherry here. She sent this to us. When she started getting it, she put Silver Shield in here and breathed it in. I guess you can get these at any kind of medical equipment store. You don't even need a prescription for it. On hand, I have Lymph Gland Cleanse. Well, I have Silver Shield too. Lymph Gland Cleanse, Cellular Detox, VS-C, and L-Lysine. That's all I have to have in my immune building herbal chest. You either need the Lymph Gland Cleanse and Cellular Detox or the VS-C and the L-Lysine. You don't need all 4 of them. I have them all 4 in hand because we have 8 people in our family. And what works for one person may not work for another, so I have all of them. I would take them until I start feeling a little bit better, and then I would probably stop taking them. It's not like an antibiotic. An antibiotic, once you start on something, you stay on it until it's done. If not, you actually just kind of get the viruses, or actually bacteria, get them a little bit mad and stir them up. You don't really kill them. But this you can stop whenever you start feeling better. I would take Chinese lung support concentrate. I would also do this if I had like COPD or emphysema. As my precaution, I might also take some Chinese lung support. The body does not seem to build up a homeostasis to it, so it's not like if you take it before you need it, then whenever you need it, it doesn't work. Chinese lung support doesn't seem to do that. But Chinese lung support is amazing. When H1N1 went around, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was moving, so I was away from my herbs. Since I had packed up and gave away all my food, I was eating takeout foods, and this was like month after month because the inspector of our house that I moved into now kept on finding things that they had to fix. So they'd push it off for 2 weeks. I wasn't going to go shopping in the store for 2 weeks, so we ate garbage. And I did come down with the H1N1 pretty dramatically. I ended up in the hospital, actually. And after I got out of the hospital, I still felt like crap. My lungs were hurt. I was still hacking and stuff like that. I took the Chinese lung support. I took, I think, 8 a day, which is a lot, more than what it says to. And in a week, my lungs were like brand new.
Mm-hmm.
My granddaughter, Emma, also had H1N1. She didn't end up in the hospital because she was eating well the whole time because she was already here. We gave her 3 of the concentrate a day, and she was less than a year old. So you can take more than what it says on the bottle. It's not going to kill you. Then I would do things like avoid people who are weak or elderly, immune compromised, because you don't want to spread it. If I do suspect I have H1N1, I'm not going to go out and walk around through the stores and stuff like that. I'm going to try to be considerate of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And this has nothing with survival, but whenever you have the coronavirus, you will probably sneeze and blow your nose and stuff like that a lot because it's an upper respiratory condition. If you use toilet paper instead of Kleenex, your nose gets much less sore. They took all the stuff that they put to make them fluffy in the Kleenex out of toilet paper because it was causing rectal cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So when I blow my nose, even if I go through a cold, I don't get that real sore around my nose because I use the toilet paper. And that's
And the
pretty
silver,
much all of it.
the silver gel will help also keep your nose from getting sore if if it does for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
yeah. So can I interject a little bit? Do you mind?
No.
Okay.
Like I
So
could shut you up.
I know, right? Shut me down. So one of the things I just wanted to kind of just recap a couple things, but one of the things that I've been sharing on some of my podcasts and thing is just, just try to stay home as much as possible, especially during this pandemic time, not only for your protection, but like she said, avoid the weak and elderly. And one of the things that I did find is that, anytime that we cough or sneeze or just, a small achoo, like that kind of thing, droplets of water and moisture come out of our mouth, and people you can get it in your eyes, you can contract it that way anytime that you get that, and that's how it gets into you. So if you're really concerned and you have to be out, wear a mask and then limit your time out. So you're not able to, if somebody does cough and sneeze, the thing is that at this time, there's allergies going crazy right now because I don't know about some of you, but we've got snow and it's melting, and I call it snow mold because I'm highly allergic to mold. So of course I've got, my eyes and stuff get itchy, but just try to limit yourself out. Then the other thing is to clean down and disinfect all the surfaces in your home before and after meal prep. And that includes tables, doorknobs, light switches, countertops, especially if you don't live by yourself. So those are things that you can do. And then rest.
Now I'm going to interject and counteract a little bit of what you said there.
Okay.
I do believe in cleaning things like you said, but there's a lot of people, and this one person called me up really sick, and they went to the hospital, and they found out it's because they overused disinfectants.
Mm-hmm.
They were using the wipes on their hands, which you should not use the wipes on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Use soap and water on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And they were spraying stuff around, and they actually got a toxicity
Right.
to the disinfectant. So
No, we're
I
talking.
do agree.
Yeah, I'm talking silver. I use silver
Okay.
for everything. So yeah, I'm not talking about disinfectants, chemical disinfectants. I don't use those. So most of the people that are here probably don't either. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, because you can poison yourself with that stuff if you
Absolutely.
go too crazy. I mean,
Yep.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't swish a little Lysol on my toilet once in a while or something like that, but not all over the place.
Well, one of the things that I also use is Nature's Concentrate. It's a concentrated cleaner. It's natural, no chemicals. You could put that in you could make that up, put it in a spray bottle and spray it down too. So just note that I don't use store-bought type of cleaners. So yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? You can even do vinegar.
You can, if you can deal
Vinegar
with the
and water.
smell.
Well,
My
yeah.
husband doesn't like the smell. I don't mind it, but my husband doesn't, and he'll almost gag. So I don't use the vinegar when I don't have to. So, and you know, some of the really good stuff out there, you know, Nature's Sunshine has amazing products for cleaning and stuff, and they have a great smell to them. So it's like, why not?
Mhm.
Yeah. One of the other things too is stop panicking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a,
Yeah.
I don't know, Mary, I know we talked and you're getting a lot of phone calls and texts and emails and such, but I'm getting inundated with panic-stricken OCD type of behaviors.
Mhm.
And I'm having to do more putting out fires than anything else. And so that's one reason why we wanted to do this live broadcast, but I've done some podcasts and different things too.
Right. And the person I told you about, that ended up in the hospital because of using too much disinfectant, she did so because she has OCD. And
Right.
germs were her thing in the first place. And then now that she's getting hit from every angle and they're making it sound like it's Ebola or something like that that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, and I can't stress that enough. Matter of fact,
Right.
I have some links that of doctors, very prominent doctors, that are saying the best thing that they could do for this so-called pandemic, and I don't believe it is to tell the media to shut up.
Mm.
Because they're feeding into this. And I mean, I needed some toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I need toilet paper. You do that once in a while, you know?
All right.
And my daughter, every time she says, "There's no toilet paper, Mom, I can't get you any toilet paper." And my granddaughter had to hook me up because she works for a store, and they put one aside for her. I don't know, I didn't get dozens of them, but they put one aside for her so that I could buy it.
Right.
So people are crazy. I mean, my daughter says, you go in there and it looks like it's a new store. They're going out of business or something, because they go and they buy all kind of crazy stuff.
And there's not a shortage on paper goods. There's not a shortage on food at all. So it's just because people are panicking, so they're emptying the shelves. The truckers can't get there fast enough, and the federal government has allowed them to run a little bit longer on their DOTs and be able to get the trucks to the place of business faster. So, thank a trucker. It's, and here's the other thing. I was reading, a friend of mine posted, she was at a fast food place of some sorts, I don't know, and she saw a trucker get out of his truck, go up to the door was closed and he had to get out. He can't take his truck through the drive-through because the drive-throughs are open and it's not allowed to walk up. So here's a trucker on the road trying to get us stuff and they can't eat. So, offer to go through the line for them if you see that happening.
That's a very thoughtful thing to say.
Right.
So I wouldn't have thought of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? As scary as it is, there's been a lot of things that are really uplifting that's happened as well. And I try to
Absolutely.
post those on Facebook.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lady that was going around to her neighborhood, all the elderly, and say, I'll do your shopping for you.
Right. Yep.
You know, and there's some guy who owns an apartment complex and said, you know, I'm doing pretty well. I know you can't get to work, so you won't owe April's rent.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. And that is so uplifting. Isn't that encouraging for the American people?
It is.
It really is. Yeah, this has been a time of challenge. We understand that, but it doesn't need to be a panic or a stress, because it's really brought some people together, and we're seeing it's like, oh, it's kind of opening some eyes that, you know, we get on our fast-paced cars, and we forget about doing the humankind type of thing and just thinking ahead. And I'm thinking that more people will be prepared now.
And I will probably always have a backup toilet paper.
Right. We always do anyway, but I'm one of those that's not a panic shopper, and I just kind of wait until something's out there. But one thing that you can do, let me give you a tip. One of the things that we found, my husband and my son, we have a very severely disabled granddaughter, and so we have to have certain things, and Mama was panicking a little bit, not getting some things, and toilet paper was one of them. And they went around to the stores, and my husband was showing me all the empty aisles and things because I was out of town, and they ended up at a camper sales place. They have a warehouse full of toilet paper, and they're like, yeah, come on in anytime. We've got 2 warehouses filled with paper. So check your camping facilities, or where they sell campers and stuff. Sometimes they have goods like that you can get a hold of.
Yep. So I don't know if there's anybody listening to us live.
There are.
There are. Does anybody have questions?
I'm watching them, if they do.
We do better with questions.
So let's just say this. Let's not panic, because stress causes the immune to weaken.
Right.
So we want to help the people that we love and care for, and help them not to panic in a time like this. So, yeah.
And I'm telling you, I'm loving some of the memes that are coming out.
Oh yeah, they're funny.
Oh, they're hilarious. The backyard bidet where they put, you know, a water sprinkler underneath a chair with the seat cut out, and
right. Okay, let me go through. Oh, Sherry, you're famous. Joanne says you're famous because you're up here on the screen.
Yep, that's our Sherry.
She just says throw cash, no problem. Okay.
Well, when this goes national, we will give you what do they call it?
A royalty.
Yeah, royalty. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So Kim says she uses all natural also to clean. And then she says, thank you so much, ladies. So are there any other questions? Because we'll go ahead and pop off. We'll be back if we need to. We'll come on back as the need arises. If you've got, let me just throw this out there. If you've got some topics that you want us to talk about, I know we took a little break between Thanksgiving and now. Just some personal things for me. It's been a rough 2000 already, losing a sister and my brother and some other things that are going on in my personal life. But we're always here to help you. If you've got questions, please feel free to message us. You can email us. Mary, do you have any of that information up?
I do not. I don't think.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So my email is ntrldoc@gmail.com. I also, my website is www.healthandharmony.net. You can get a hold of me that way. So Mary, yours?
Mary's Herbs at AOL. Mary's Herbs 1 at gmail.com. I can't believe I gave him an old one.
And then your website?
marysherbs.com. I'm not very
Okay.
imaginative.
You're fine. So if you need to get a hold of us, you can do that. My website also has my phone number. You can always call. You can text, and we'll be happy to do what we can to help you, give you some tips, different things. I know that Mary and I are constantly researching. That's what we do as naturopaths. We are clicking links to link to link to link to link to see what, what the perspectives are, put it together, and then hand it off to people that we love, such as you.
And even if we don't like you, you are welcome to the information.
Right. That didn't sound right, but yes, even if we don't know you. Anyway, so okay, so Joanne says thank you for this level-headed perspective. Sherry says love you all. Teresa says yes, thanks for a recap and natural health perspectives. And Sherry is laughing, bah ha ha. All right, ladies, we'll talk to you real soon again. Thank you so much. Do spread the word. This is a public page, so you can actually, I believe, share this video with other people. Invite them in to join Health and Harmony Chat. So the more the merrier. The more we can, educate and get the word out there.
True. And send me any funny memes that you have. I'm loving them.
All right.
And we will have, if no other time, we will have another live stream in July saying we told you so.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Blessings
Take
all.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.